Love. From the video and book, It Makes Sense to Believe. The sixth criterion, love, is the most essential part of being human. People are willing to die for it. Love of children, parents, brothers and sisters, love of boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, love of best friends. Love is what makes us most deeply happy, and when we lose this love, it is traumatic. To put it simply, we are wired for love. When we consider all creation, from the vast universe to its wonders, such as the Grand Canyon, does any of it actually impress God? Meaning, did God say to himself, I am amazed at what I made, I can stare at this forever and be extra happy? I propose the only thing worth being created by God in the entire universe, even in the tiniest amount, is selfless love. And we are wired to recognize this too. This is why we honor people who have heroically risked life and limb to save others. We even create monuments for those who sacrificed their life. Consider how small we are in the eyes of the universe, and how short our lives are. But Jesus said, there is no greater love than to give one's life for a friend. When a person gives his life, then he has given 100% of himself. That 100% selfless love is worth all creation. I cannot think of any other major religion that puts an emphasis on love as does Christianity and Judaism. In fact, the gospel writer John states simply in his first letter that God is love. Now, if love is so important to God, then we must confront the existence of evil, hatred, disease, natural disasters, suffering, and death, and how they relate to divine love. This was a big issue for me when I did my chaplaincy on a hospital cancer floor where patients ranged in age from 18 to 73. We will consider evil and suffering shortly, but let's continue to look at love in more detail. As observed earlier, God and other spiritual realities have been kept invisible to us. The reason for this is love. Free will. True love must be given freely. It cannot be programmed like a computer robot, nor coerced as in a master-slave relationship, nor conditioned as in Pavlov's dog, and neither is it random. That said, though, how God creates people with free will and still knows how each is going to use it is a complete mystery. Words and invisibility. God's invisibility and his revelation in words are important to our free will. If we could see that God was constantly paying attention to us, if we could look at the great joy of heaven whenever we wanted, if the punishment of hell were always visible, we would have to obey God and thus lose our freedom to truly love. To put it another way, God is not terrorizing us to avoid evil with visions of hell, and God is not bribing us to do good with visions of heaven. Rather, God wants us to choose love freely, even at great personal cost in this life, because God's type of love is selfless. Supernatural signs. As seen in John's Gospel, with divine words, God occasionally gives us miraculous signs. That is, events that cannot be completely explained by science. Even occurrences of supernatural evil, like demonic possession, are signs. We will look at these more in the next criterion about evidence. Faith. We need faith because spiritual realities are invisible, and God has only given us his words with occasional signs. But Jesus said, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." The letter to the Hebrews adds, "Faith is the conviction of things not seen." While faith is a necessary gift from God, this case hopes to show that we need only the tiniest amount of faith to believe, like that of a mustard seed, given the abundance of evidence and how much sense the Catholic faith makes in the context of what we know about life.